My boys, we have a wonderful machine in our possession, having until we fully explore the full potential of this miraculous machine. We shall tell no one. Hello, welcome to the wonderful world of random sequencing. Today we're going to be talking about a concept here, and it starts off with 23, goes to 11, 11, 23, and 33. And what that relationship is that the 11, 1, 1 in binary notation is 3. So basically what we have here is 3, 3, and it sequences to a 33, and then sequences to a 23. Now 23 carries the statement 2 3s, which is 3, 3. So that pretty much describes that. And then if you go over here, in other words, what you have is a statement that says 2 3s, and what sequence was 11 11, so that's 3 3 in binary notation. And then it sequences again to the 23, and then since I have already stated the 23 carries the statement 2 3s, and it sequence to this 33 right here. I'd like to talk about the relationship between also the 1829, and that relationship is the 29 carries the statement 2 9s, and 2 9s is 9 9, and 9 plus 9 is 18. So that's the relationship there. So if you see 18, it could sequence to a 29, or if you see a 29, it could sequence to 18 here. So as you could see, 18, 29, 18, and that's the relationship. I'd like to go back to this 11 11 sequence here, because it represents number 14, and it represents the number 15. Now the reason why it represents the number 14 is because 11 11 is four ones, and 4 ones is expressed as 4 ones, and that is equal to 14. When it comes to translating the number 41, it's just reversed, because there is no cell that expresses 41 by itself. It has to be expressed by 14. So you got the 11 11 sequence to 14, and then over here the 11 11 is also equal to a 15 binary notation. And so if you see 11 11, you're going to get either you're going to probably get both. You'll either get a 14 or a 15. Now the way this connects is that it says 15 equal form. 34 is the equal form statement, and then it connects to this 11 11 sequence. So that's the relationship there. I'd like to focus in on this sequence here. It's the 25 10 sequence, and the relationship there is that 25 carries the statement 2 5s, which is 5 5, and 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So you can see that right there. And you can see also that it's sequenced over here 25 10, 25 10. I'd like to talk about the relationship between 27 and 14. Now 27 is equal to the statement 2 7s, which is 7 7, and 7 plus 7 is equal to 14. So that is that relationship. You have this 27 sequence to a 14. Now if you see a 14, it'll sequence to 27. I want to also look at this sequence here. It says 20 0 0. The reason why it's sequenced is that the 20 carries the statement 2 zeros, which is 0 0. Also, I want you to notice over here above it, you have the number 32. Whenever you get a 32 linked to double zeros, or it could be a 23 linked to double zeros, you're going to get 50. In this case, we got 30 and 20. Now, whenever you see a 50, it gets repeated, like as you can see right here. We have 15 sequenced to 30, and you have a statement that says I am 50. So this is 30, 20 linked to the 15, and so in this situation where you have 5, right, and so it's going to link to a 0 of some sort. So the best options to play would be all zeros, which would be 0, 00, 10, 20, and 30. And if you did that, you'll hit with one of those zeros. In this case, it does form an I am statement and then goes into a 50. So it's very, very important to know this particular sequence. Remember, it could be a 23 also. In this case, it's 32. As long as it connects to double zeros like this, it's going to be 50. And this happens to be the last spot where it could express itself. So this is a nice little sequence. And just to remember that you have a 5 there, it has to link, and you want to play all zeros. I wanted to talk about this concept right here. In this, whenever you get a 60, like right here, you have a 60. This over here on the left-hand side is just a statement that says "I am." Also, it could be 31. It's make a. So this is 60, and so as you can see here, you do have a 30, and so you will think that you might get a 30-30 sequence right here. But it actually created it put a 0 right there and then linked to a 30. So basically you do have a 30-30 sequence. But so if you ever see a situation like that, and you're assuming that it's going to be a 30, you also have to consider the 0 might be here, or a 3 might be right here in this spot. And if the 3 was in this spot, you would put a 0 over here or over here. So that is the concept of a 60. And it does create a 30-30 sequence. And in fact, if you go over here and throw these double zeros underneath the 33, you also get 30-30. So in other words, if you were to link these underneath the 33, you also get 30-30. So that's an interesting little concept, and you should remember that if you get 60, you might get a 30-30. I wanted to talk about the concept of how to add 35. One way to add 35 is, for instance, this 25 carries the statement 5-5, and this 15 carries the statement 1-5, which is just 5. So if this has 5-5 and this one has 5, that's what we call 3 5s. 3 5s. So as you can see right here, we have adds. The 9 represents the plus, which means add, and this is the equal. So it says add and equals this number 35, and that would be 2 5s here and just 1 5 there. That makes 35. And in other words, it could also be, for instance, it could be, as you can see, this is 35, and then it could be 15 here and then 25. So that's the way you add 5s there. I'd like to talk about the 15-15 sequence. Whenever you get a 15-15 sequence, you get 30. So in this case, we have a 30 before that. So if you happen to see a 15 sequence to a 30, then we could assume that it's going to be another 15, because 15 plus 15 equals 30. So remember, if you get a 15 and then you get a 30, it's a golden opportunity to sequence to another 15 right here. I'd like to talk to you about the sequence right here. We have 35, 35, and when you add those up, that's 70. So you're looking for a number that has a 7, and you see a 7 right here. Sometimes you assume that it's going to be a 0 of some sort. In that case, you would play all zeros. That would be zeros, double zeros, and 10, 20, and 30. But it didn't work out that way. Now, I wanted you to notice that we did get the 70 here, and it started with a 0, then linked to a 7. And so this 70, I call the root right here. This is the root of the 70, and this is the root of this sequence here. If you count the distance between here, where the 7 is, and here, where the 35 is, the first 35 is cell, the distance between here and here is 58. And so it's interesting that this sequence, this is what we call the count number between this cell and this cell. Here's the root and here's the root. And so it starts with the I-58. So if you dig in deep, you find out why you get these sequences. And finally, I'd like to talk about this sequence, the 29-29 sequence. If you add those up, you get 58. And as you can see right here, you have a 5. And then it linked to an 18. Now that says I-58. Now, if you assume that there is going to be an 8 of some sort, what you want to do is play 8, 18, and 28. If you play 8 or 18 and 28, you will hit on one of those. So again, this is you want to add these digits together, this sequence here. 29, 29, that's 58. it sequences to a 5, so you could assume that there might be a 5 of some sort. So if you wanted to, you could also play all 5s here, and that would be 5, 15, 25, and 35. And then once that hit, you're going to hit on a 5 here, no matter what, right? Because you're playing all 5s. Then you could play all 8s, and that would be 8, 18, and 28. So that would be a nice little, you would hit on that one and that one. And folks, as always, please click the subscribe button below, show some love, give me some thumbs up. I have links below with PayPal and Patreon. And I will see you on the next wonderful world of random sequencing.